Hi, I'm your teacher, Miss Haig, and I'll be teaching you about photosynthesis. We'll be looking at the process that is involved in photosynthesis. We'll be looking at the different components that are involved in the photosynthesis process, and we'll be looking at what happens to a plant when we take one of those components away and how that can hinder its growth. What is photosynthesis? We'll be looking at how a plant gets from this phase to this phase and eventually becomes this big plant based on how much of each component is given to the plant. Let's hear from Miss Haig and see what her perspective is on photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis is a process whereby plants are able to synthesize or make nutrients. These nutrients are needed for a plant to grow. As you can see here, this plant is extremely yellow and the soil is missing a vital mineral. When a plant is placed in an environment that is good and they have those three components, they are able to thrive.
With Miss Haig's explanation, we are able to see that there are three components that are needed for the process of photosynthesis. The first component is the sun and its sunlight. This is found in the rays of the sun. The next one is the mineral that she spoke about that was absent from the soil. This is found in the soil and can be absorbed by the roots. The last and final component is carbon dioxide. This is found from the waste that is released into the atmosphere and the plants are able to absorb. How does photosynthesis work? I'm not sure, but let's try and find out. Photosynthesis starts where the roots draw up the water from the soil. The leaves then take in the CO2, which is the carbon dioxide from the air. The leaves then trap the energy that is given off by the sun's rays. Once the plant has all three of these elements, they are able to use the energy given from the sun to turn the water and the carbon dioxide into sugar and oxygen. The plant then releases the oxygen into the air, which is then used by us humans and other organisms. The plant also uses the sugar for its growth, and that is what the process of photosynthesis does. Let's see how to get a plant from this to this using a simple self-watering system. Let's hear from Ms. Haig on how she achieved this result.
This is a plant self-watering system. You take the bottom of any bottle and you fill it with water. This is a way for the plant to be able to not be underwatered or overwatered. The plant takes as much water as it needs in order to assist in the photosynthesis process. Let's see an example of how it is effective. This plant was bought at the same time. As you can tell, this plant is pretty much dead. This plant, however, has flourished.
With this effective, recyclable, self-watering system, you are able to grow your own plants. But just remember that you always need to fill the bottom with water and keep it in the sun. In the next lesson, we are going to see how these plants grow and how they are restricted from the different components being taken away. This plant will have all three components. It'll have water, carbon dioxide, and sunlight. This will be seen over a couple of days. This plant will only have two components. It'll have water and carbon dioxide. The sunlight is blocked by the tinfoil, but there is holes that are put in to allow for carbon dioxide to go in. This plant will only have two components, water and sunlight. The sunlight will come in through the see-through paper bag, but it restricts the ability for carbon dioxide to come in.